Hi, my name is Tim O'Mara. I'm a teacher candidate at Brock University, Hamilton campus, and this is the story behind my Genius Hour project. So how did this all get started? It actually began 3 years ago, before I was even a teacher candidate at Brock. 3 years ago, I went to Japan with the Japanese Exchange and Teaching Program, also known as JET. I had always wanted to become a teacher, but I never felt I had the necessary skills or experiences to apply to Teachers College. In addition, Japan holds a very special place in my heart. I'm of mixed Japanese and Irish descent, so the JET program was the perfect opportunity for me to explore my cultural heritage and to gain the necessary teaching skills I needed. For 3 years, I taught in the city of Joetz at the junior high school and elementary school level. I taught English, learned about my cultural heritage, learned Japanese, and made friends with both Japanese and other foreign teachers like myself. Two of my friends, fellow Canadians, Bob and Karina, were excellent bakers. I enjoyed every week trying their new creations, especially the sourdough bread with a little bit of cheese and jalapeno. It was so good. I wanted to try baking myself. Unfortunately for me, in my small little village apartment, I didn't have an oven big enough to be able to bake, so unfortunately, I couldn't get started. At the end of my JET experience, I returned to Toronto, and my brother and father, who are excellent bakers in their own right, were watching a television show called The Great British Bake Off. In this show, bakers from across the UK competed to see who would be the best. And I was absolutely enthralled with some of the creations I saw. The pastries, cakes, and breads all looked delicious. And I thought to myself, I'd like to try that. Unfortunately, with university coming, I didn't have the time that I needed in order to get started baking. Fortunately for me, when I got to Brock, our tech course introduced the idea of Genius Hour to me. Genius Hour gave me a 1 hour period every week where I could do something creative. I thought about different ideas. Maybe I could go skydiving, but that's too expensive. Maybe I could learn yet another martial art. But ultimately, I decided that I wanted to try baking. It's something I'm passionate about and something for 3 years I didn't have the opportunity to do. So I wanted to get baking. But how do I get started? I've never even baked before. Well, the first thing I did was looked up a little bit of information on the hosts of the Great British Bake Off. One host in particular, Paul Hollywood, had a book with lots of great recipes. So I went out and I bought it. This book contains a number of different bread, pastry, and cake recipes from all across the UK. In particular, one of the sections has Irish breads and pastries. For me, over the last 3 years, I had a chance to explore my Japanese heritage, but I wanted to explore my Irish heritage as well. So I looked up recipes inside and settled on one. Irish soda bread. That was going to be my Genius Hour project. But I had never even baked before, so I had no idea where to start. My brother suggested to me that I try my hand using a bread maker. He reasoned that it'd be perfect for me, someone with a background in science. All you do is you take your ingredients and your formula, you put them together, and you have bread. And it was really that easy. I just took the ingredients, put them in the bread maker, a few hours later, and I had a loaf of bread. Easy. But it wasn't very satisfying to me. It wasn't challenging, nor did it bring out any kind of creative flair within me. And I'm sure Paul Hollywood, if he took a look at it, would not be very impressed. I'd probably be the next candidate voted off the show. So I decided for my Genius Hour project that I needed to do everything from scratch, something that I had never done before. So for the soda bread recipe, I bought the ingredients and decided that I was going to make it. And unfortunately, it didn't quite turn out as I expected. Whereas in his YouTube videos or in his book, he was able to get a nice round dough, shape it, and bake it to perfection. My experience was not so perfect. Instead of a nice malleable dough, mine was more like quick drying cement. My hands were just gloshing in and out of the mixing bowl, struggling to even shape the wet dough into something that looked like a ball. As I put it down on the cooking sheet, I couldn't help but feel disappointed. Yeah, I wouldn't survive this season, that's for sure. But I put it in the oven, and surprisingly, out came bread. Now, it wouldn't be something that would win me Baker of the Day. It certainly wasn't shaped like Irish soda bread. It didn't quite look it. It smelled nice, though. And to me, that was a good lesson. I learned that despite failing, not meeting my own expectations, I could learn from this and do better. And I wanted to do better next time. So I went back to the drawing board, looked at the ingredients, looked at the process. Turns out I'd done everything right, except one thing. In the book and in the television show, I was missing one key ingredient: flour. The flour I had been using was here in Canada, but I didn't have the British flour that I needed. And it turns out that wholemeal flour is actually pretty rare here. So I didn't really know what to do. I looked around, and it turns out that Bulk Barn had exactly what I needed. It had flour with more bran, better able to absorb the water. So I decided to give it a second try. And lo and behold, I went through the process again, and I was able to make a nice loaf of Irish soda bread. Now, it's not perfect. It's pretty close to the book. This won't win me any awards, but I feel very satisfied with this effort and my progress. And for me, that's what this Genius Hour project has been all about. It's been about pushing your creative limits, trying something new, trying something you're passionate about, and getting a fun end result. And I'm going to carry this forward. After this project is done, I'm going to continue to bake and explore new recipes, new ways of thinking. And someday, who knows, maybe I'll be on the Great Canadian Bake Off. Hopefully, I'll see you there.